Hi, welcome. Hi, welcome. I should really do like intro things for these. Okay. as soon as I say that, like my brain blanks. I can't do it. I can't do it if I make myself do it. It doesn't work. The PDA just kicks in. Anyway, hi, I'm Aries. We're reading a book. Reading Fish Book. The Disabled Tyrant's Beloved Pet Fish. Once again. And it's a good time. I hope you have some tea. I hope you're just chilling or you know what? You do whatever you want, but it's going to be hard to focus on the book if you're doing something else, by the way. Just so you know. Something like brainy. Hello Aries VT, are you reading Disabled? No way. Calig knows what's up. Alright, I have tea. I have book. What should I say? If you hear any background noise, like, if you hear my roommates, no you don't. If you hear the washing machine, no you don't. If you hear the dogs, no you don't. It's, you're imagining things. That's on you. Go see a psychiatrist or something. I don't know. But yeah, I'm stalling. I'm just gonna wait a little bit. Not even just waiting, just like if anybody wants to come in, if anybody's like hasn't seen the notification yet that I'm live. Live. I love how you have to censor words on Twitter so much. Like you can't you can't just say stream. You have to spell it differently or put it in a different word. You can't say live even. You're stalling. I'm gambling for. Don't fucking gamble your PC money, you idiot. Stupid. That's a League player for you. Anyway, we are on page 20. What the hell? No, we're not. We're on the page 83. I'm looking at the previous page. It says 82, and I read to the 2 first. Bro, get more money? No, you won't. You'll lose all your money. Don't gamble, kids. Stay in school. Actually, I don't care whether you stay in school or not. Just don't gamble. Anyway, I don't know how my throat's feeling today, but we'll see. I think it's okay. It should be fine. We should probably get through at least 3 chapters. I really, honestly, I want to get through 4 because the 4th chapter. Oh no, I want to get to. Actually, yeah. At least 3. Yeah, at least I want to get through at least 3 chapters. I think we can do that. These next 3 chapters are pretty short. You might even be able to get through 4. Actually, these next 4 chapters are really short. But yeah, chapter 45 is called Fishy Nursing. Are we talking like a infant or or like healing? I know which word we're talking about. I know we're talking about healing, but you know what? Let a man dream, okay? Let me just dream a bit, okay? But yeah, let's just get started. Let's go for it. Fishy nursing. Oh boy. Prince Jing was injured, so once he'd taken his medicine, he fell asleep after laying on Liu's lap for a bit. That's right. That's where we ended last time. I forgot. He's sleeping on his lap. That's fine. He cuddled him. He took It's fine. He pulled him down to sleep with him. God, because he said it was cold. Because he's really cold. Oh my god, he's such a baby. can't. I can't. I'm remembering the last lines in the last chapter. The last lines of the last chapter are Prince Jing settled in, still somewhat disappointed. His Highness was so cold. So with like 4 O's. He wanted someone to suck his essence. That's such a line. That's such a couple of sentences. Are they gay? Who can say? Who can say? Anyway, let's start over. Sorry, I got really distracted. Prince Jing was injured, so once he had taken his medicine, he fell asleep after laying on Liu's lap for a bit. Liu boldly stared down at the tyrant's handsome face, but after a while he found that being a pillow was hard on his waist and legs. Prince Jing had finally gotten to sleep, though, and Liu was too afraid he'd wake him to move. The classic. But being tired wasn't the most pressing matter right now. He was forced to consider how much time he had left as a human. What if he just turned into a fish right here? Liu had a sudden thought. If he turned back while Prince Jing was laying on him like this, wouldn't he get crushed under Prince Jing's head? What if he was flattened? Liu shook his head. He had to sneak away before he changed back, but Prince Jing was still sleeping. I'm adjusting the mic a little bit. Sorry. Okay, sorry. We're good. Prince Jing was sleeping. In his moment of conflict, worrying about being stuck between a rock and a hard bed, the door to the side hall was cracked open. Wang Gonggong peeked inside. Help had arrived! Liu immediately blinked furiously at Wang Ji. Wang Ji immediately noticed that there was another person in the side hall, and that His Highness was resting on that person's lap. He was stunned for a moment, then scurried over. Not even stuck on over. I know, I wasn't gonna say it, but it did cross my mind. You're Li Gongji? Gongji? Wang Ji quickly asked, his voice low. Prince Jing had expended a lot of effort in his friendly abduction of the human fish to his manor, and of course made sure Wang Ji was informed of it. However, he didn't reveal Xiao Yu's real name. Wang Ji had at least managed to figure out that someone else's male concubine was just a beautiful misunderstanding. The young man was now a member of the residence. He was surnamed Li, and he worked only for Prince Jing. That was all Prince Jing explained, and nothing else. Jesus. He didn't allow anyone to ask about him either, and he decreed... Sorry, I'm thinking about things. I think... Sorry, it's just him walking in on Prince Jing and the fish in the first book all over again. He didn't allow anyone to ask about him either. And he decreed that no matter who ran into Li Gongji, they were to treat him with the utmost respect, as if they were greeting Prince Jing himself. People couldn't just enter Prince Jing's room as they pleased. Most of the manor's residents didn't get much of an opportunity to run into the fabled Li Gongji. However, as Prince Jing's trusted confidant, Wang Ji had glimpsed Li Gongji's back a couple of times. From what he could glean, this Li Gongji probably lived in His Highness's room, and his whereabouts were often unknown. Because of Prince Jing's orders, Wang Ji wasn't particularly suspicious, but he did wonder if there was something going on between the prince and this Li Gongji. Li Gongji was definitely the person Prince Jing liked. Wang Gonggong had a good memory and recalled several occasions he'd come across Li Gongji and His Highness entangled with each other. Now that Li Gongji was the personal servant of Prince Jing's, he would often go into His Highness's room and not come out. Coupled with the fact that Prince Jing wanted to treat him and serve him well, that seemed to be what was happening. Yeah, I think anybody would come to the same conclusion. Right now, with Li Gongji appearing next to Prince Jing and with Prince Jing sleeping in his lap, Wang Ji was even more sure of the relationship between the two. However, he didn't show anything on his face. His Highness had told him several times that if he saw Li Gongji, he wasn't to be startled or speak nonsense, but to treat him normally. Wang Ji kept that in mind and acted accordingly. Li Yu nodded slightly to Wang Ji. Wang Ji softly inquired about Prince Jing's injury, and Li Yu told him what he knew. As Wang Ji was about to exit and give the two of them some privacy, Li Yu stopped him. Wang Gongong, please wait, Li Yu pleaded quietly. I still have business to attend to, so could you help me? Wang Ji immediately understood what he wanted and helped him gently lift Prince Jing onto the daybed. Liu covered Prince Jing with a blanket just as the system was already beginning to count down. Liu didn't have any time to say anything else to Wang Gongong. He ran toward the door and quickly hid behind a cabinet nearby, where he had placed a crystal bottle beforehand, just out of sight. Convenient. I don't know if my man is that smart, though. Liu had lots of experience transforming by now, and aside from keeping track of the time, he had also gotten into the habit of placing a crystal bottle or fish tank in a hidden area. When his time was almost up, he just had to hide nearby and transform, then jump into the crystal bottle or the tank. This time was no exception. Leo quickly turned back into a little carp and gathered all of his strength in his tail. Jumping around all the time was a bit too noisy and noticeable, so ever since Leo realized that he could stiffen his tail and use it as sort of a base to support his fish body for a short amount of time, he would simply... he would simply use it as a little skateboard. With a push, he arrived in front of the crystal bottle and jumped right in. While he completed this series of dazzling moves, Wang Ji thankfully didn't even look around. Liu sighed in relief and started swimming happily in his crystal bottle. Oh, I'm not holding my book. Hang on. Gotta get my keyboard out. 6. Yeah, there we go. Boys kissing. Alright. Once Wang Ji had made sure Prince Jing was alright, he turned around to look for Li Gongji, but realized he'd disappeared. He thought Li Gongji had perhaps left again, and since His Highness had forbidden asking after Li Gongji's whereabouts, he obeyed. But when he passed by the door of the side hall, he found that the crystal bottle was on the ground for some reason, with Master Fish in it, wagging his tail at him. Wang Ji smiled and picked up the crystal bottle, placing it in front of the bed. When His Highness woke up, he definitely wanted to see his fish first. So that was me slamming the book against my head, if you didn't know. While Prince Jing was resting in the side hall of Chunqing Palace, though, on the other side of the wall, in the main hall, most of the room was kneeling in front of the emperor. Since the 6th prince had brought in those fake monks, the emperor thought the fake monks and the nursery rhyme were both very suspicious and ordered an investigation. However, the investigation into the nursery rhyme would require going out to question the common people, so the fake monks who dared sneak into Chunqing Palace were punished first. These fake monks were simply a random group of troublemakers. Unable to withstand the torture, they quickly admitted that the 3rd prince had bribed them. Are you okay, chat? No, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I need to put my headphones on. I need to lock in. Okay. The emperor immediately started scolding the 3rd prince, who thought his position as crown prince was all but confirmed. The 6th prince, who was rarely sighted but had made a rare main stage appearance, was berated severely as well. Since he was a child, Mu Tianzhao had always understood that the most beneficial thing to do was, and as soon... What? Oh my god. Sorry, what? Okay, since he was a child, Mu Tianzhao had always understood what the most beneficial thing to do was, and as soon as he realized that things weren't going well, he knelt in apologetic ob- obeisance? Obeisance. I know I get what that means, but I've never seen it like that. Is that a typo? No, I don't think so. Anyway. Royal Father, I was wrong, but I did not have any bad intentions. I heard the nursery rhyme sung among the common people and was concerned, so I wrote it down to report it to you. As for these monks, I was not aware that they were fake, as I didn't imagine they would have cause to lie. They were all lapse they were all lapse in judgment on my part, and I won't simply believe everything I hear in the future. Mu Tianzhao was extremely devious and had always hidden behind Mu Tianming. His name wasn't directly involved with the fake monks and the nursery rhyme, while the third prince's was. He was never one to be an obvious schemer, so he was confident that no matter how far the Emperor investigated, he wouldn't be implicated. Now that the Emperor had exposed his plan, it was no big deal for him to admit his mistake. On the other hand, Mu Tianming was a little slower. By the time he started lowering himself to his knees, Mu Tianzhao had already finished his confession and said everything he was supposed to say. Royal Father, I didn't do it, Mu Tianming said. I just thought there was something wrong with Prince Jing's fish. He was still in shock from the fish leaping out and knocking off the fake monk's hat. Prince Jing claimed he discovered the monk's flaw and threw the crystal bottle at him, but thinking back over it, the third prince wasn't sure what had really happened first. Prince Jing's hand bleeding or the fish leaping out. But he felt like it was a fish. Mu Tianming thought the fish was very suspicious. If he could convince the emperor of this, then the issue of the monks would be irrelevant. Tianming, you still don't think you did anything wrong? After the monk's testimony, the emperor didn't want to listen to the third prince at all. The sixth prince had already admitted his wrongdoings, yet the third prince was still here trying to argue? The emperor knew very well that the sixth prince often followed the third prince to help him out. Though the sixth prince was the one who'd mentioned the fake monks and the nursery rhyme, the monks only testified against the third prince. The sixth prince had mentioned the third prince several times in his speech, too. The third prince had to have at least known about what the sixth prince did. But the sixth prince was willing to admit his mistake, while the third prince wasn't. These contrasting attitudes meant that the third prince must have been the one behind all of it. That was a lot of third prince, sixth prince, third prince, sixth. It's oh my god. When the emperor had ordered the Imperial Astrological Bureau to read the skies for Prince Jing's fish, Mu Tianming jumped out to question them and was refuted by Director Sun. Soon. Later on, the sixth prince brought up the nursery rhyme and the fake monks. Wasn't this an obvious attempt to overturn the Imperial Astrological Bureau's conclusions? The emperor suddenly remembered something else. A few days ago, Luo Risheng told him that the third prince had gone to Prince Jing's manor to buy his fish, but Prince Jing chased him out. The emperor took it as a joke at first, and now that he thought about it, didn't the third prince think of the fish as an auspicious sign as well? Otherwise, why would he try to buy the fish? Why would he change his attitude in just a few days? The nursery rhyme, the fake monks, they were all attempts to use the fish to make him suspicious of Prince Jing. But why did the third prince do this? From what the emperor understood of the third prince probably got jealous when he saw the emperor give Prince Jing's fish special treatment. And when the third prince failed to buy the fish from Prince Jing, he thought Prince Jing was rude and ordered the sixth prince to work with him to frame Prince Jing. The emperor's head hurt. Mine too, buddy. He had been keeping an eye on Mu Tianming, actually. Ever since he could remember, Mu Tianming was always competing with Mu Tianzhao. Mu Tianming was inferior to Mu Tianzhao in terms of ability, but he had his strong points too. There was a period of time when he valued this son of his quite a lot, albeit not as much as he valued Mu Tianzhao. Jeez. The tragedy that befell Mu Tianzhou was ultimately because the emperor had prematurely and unofficially announced that he was to become the crown prince. Now the second prince was no longer in consideration. Learning from his previous mistake, he had no intention of choosing a crown prince yet. He wanted to wait a couple more years and see how the other princes fared. When the and eighth princes were a little older, he would compare all the princes and select the best of them to be crown prince. But just because the emperor didn't have a crown prince in mind didn't mean that others wouldn't. Mu Tianming used to be quite humble, but without someone above him to compete with him, his ambitions were quickly revealed. It wasn't that the emperor was unaware of Mu Tianming's recent actions in court. He knew that the officials who used to have a good relationship with Mu Tianzhou had switched teams and that Court Chan had also tried to intervene several times when he was dealing with concubine Cho. These were all expressions of their restlessness, but the emperor put up with it. He didn't have many adult sons, so he hadn't made any efforts to control the third prince, hoping that even once he'd gained some power of his own, the third prince and his mother would behave themselves. That had clearly been a foolish assumption. If he'd really listened to the nursery rhyme and the impostor monks today, allowing himself to be alienated from Prince Jing, what would he have done to him? He had already started to suspect Prince Jing. The emperor was both upset and ashamed. He didn't want to shoulder the responsibility himself for almost falling for the trap, so he could only take out his anger on the two princes who were behind all this, the third prince especially. Since he'd already disposed of the second prince, Since he'd already deposed, jeez, he didn't throw him away. Since he'd already deposed the second prince, the emperor didn't want to take harsh action against any of his adult sons ever. What the hell is going on? Since he'd already deposed the second prince, the emperor didn't want to take harsh action against any of his adult sons again so soon. So he simply relieved the third prince of his duties, as he did with the second prince. Jeez. The third prince was luckier than the second prince had been. Mu Tianzhou had received a title that meant there was no hope left for him, while Mu Tianming remained a prince and wasn't so thoroughly humiliated, but he wasn't much better off. Since Prince Jing's hand was injured, the emperor ordered the guards to hit the third and sixth prince 100 times with a plank, and he personally watched so they couldn't take it easy. Jeez. After that, the sixth prince was fined and grounded, while the third prince was told that his presence was no longer required in court, and that he was to go to the imperial study room to study with his younger brothers, the seventh and eighth princes, every day. Jesus. The punishment was only for bringing in the fake monks. If the investigation into the nursery rhyme concluded that the third prince was also behind it, then it would be up to the third prince to decide his own fate. The third and sixth princes were the first and last of their standing to ever be beaten by the plank. It was a magnificent sight. The emperor ordered the guards to carry out the punishment right in Changqing Palace. The two princes had their trousers removed in front of everyone and were held down over a stool to be beaten. The sixth prince bore the pain without uttering a single sound, but the third prince cried out every time he was hit. Loser. The sound could be heard in the side hall where Liu floated in his crystal bottle, listening in satisfaction. The emperor was publicly punishing the third and sixth princes on behalf of Prince Jing, and Liu was appeased. He was worried about Prince Jing, so he didn't enter the system even when he turned back into a fish. He felt like he'd heard the system chime while he was creating chaos in the main hall earlier, but he didn't know for sure what was going on with his missions. He decided he'd wait until Prince Jing woke up to check. He didn't have to wait too long. Prince Jing was soon woken up by the third prince's bone-chilling screams. When Prince Jing opened his eyes, he saw a little carp peeking at him from a crystal bottle. Did he change back before he could absorb essence? Prince Jing wondered. God. Well, the days were long, so there was no need to rush. Prince Jing smiled a little. He knew that Xiao Yu was worried about him, so he wanted to comfort him and pet him a little bit. To the prince's great disappointment, though, before he could even lift his uninjured hand to reach out, the carp spirit's tail stretched out as he started to meditate. His tyrant master finally woke up. Liu entered the system at once to check his main mission, only to find that the Koi side mission he had been ignoring had been updated. Boop, boop. That's the end of the chapter. Sorry, my computer's being too loud. That's the end of the chapter. The next chapter is called The Joy of Petting a Fish. No, The Joy of Petting Fish. Not even A or the. The Joy of Petting Fish. I believe it. Yeah. Sorry, I just need to, like, adjust myself and stuff. Okay. The Joy of Petting Fish. Chapter 46. So, this one has a picture! This one has an illustration! Oh my god. Leo checked the koi mission. The original line was, "To become a koi, one must have the characteristics of a koi." But it was different now. It said, "To become a koi, one must experience being a koi first." Huh? Leo asked the system, "Why did the prompt change?" If he remembered correctly, it had happened while he was creating chaos in Chanting Palace. The system patiently explained, When the user becomes protective and risks his own life for the tyrant, that is when the user has the characteristics of a koi." Liu suddenly realized, so the characteristics of a koi means being protective. This whole damn time, he thought it was good fortune. Actually, it made some sense. People hoped koi could bring good fortune, but wasn't that just kind of a wish for protection? Because of an unintentional move and a combination of strange circumstances, the koi mission had been accidentally updated. But the update wasn't complete. The mission was still in progress. Leo was a little worried. What does it mean to experience being a koi? User, are you ready? Uh-oh. Huh? Before Leo could react, the scene before him suddenly changed. Oh boy. The mental world of the system used to be wild and chaotic, but now it was a vast starry sky. The system solemnly said, "User, please choose a target and experience being a koi." Wait, the system wanted him to choose someone? He wasn't prepared at all. Liu had no idea what the system wanted, but with a closer look, he saw a new path in front of him that led into the dark. Liu was still in his fish form. He cautiously gave it a try and found that he could still swim along the road without water. This would have been impossible in reality, so he must still be in the mental world. The system urged him, "User, please carry out your mission with no worries." No worries? As if! Every single time the system said that, it scammed him. Leo was so on guard he thought about exiting the system first. He was completely unprepared. He'd only come in to check his progress. Prince Jing was still outside. What if he failed and couldn't turn into a koi? But though he could normally exit the system easily, he couldn't now. The system had started scamming him already by not giving him a way out, trapping him in this mental world. If he wanted to escape, it looked like he would have to do as the system said and experience being a koi. Since he'd caused a lot of trouble by changing scales, Liu wasn't terribly excited to become a koi, but such was the life of a fish. Hell, why? Liu swam along the path in front of him. Eventually, he wasn't sure how much time had passed. A light shone from ahead and his surroundings gradually became clear. He realized he was in the Imperial Palace because the tiles on the walls were the gold ones that only appeared there. Since he could still swim around but couldn't leave the mental world. What? Since he could still swim around but couldn't leave the mental world, though, it was all an illusion. If I had a pet fish that loves me, I would do okay. 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 As if in response to his confusion, he heard voices a distance away. Liu swam over and found two kids fighting in the grass. Of the two children, one, the older of the two, was taller and skinnier, while the other was shorter and chubbier, a little round boy with bulging cheeks and a plump body. Baby, I was gonna say baby, what? Okay, I'm ready. The older one seemed to be about 7 or 8 years old, and the younger one was about 2 or 3. It wasn't clear why they were fighting each other. Why is he fighting a baby? The larger child was sly, pinching and twisting the flesh of the plumper boy, even kicking him in the stomach. That boy is 2 years old. That... 2 or 3. What? Any other child would have started crying long ago. But not only did the plump boy not cry, he even clenched his teeth and greeted the other child's face with his fist, giving him a black eye. Liu was close by. It seemed the children couldn't see him. He tried separating them, but he couldn't touch them, so it was truly an illusion, and he could only watch. Did the system mean for him to pick someone out of these two children? The fight ended quickly once the little plump boy chomped into the larger child's arm. The older child covered his wound and cried out, "You just wait! I'm telling your royal father!" He howled and wailed the entire way as he ran. The plump boy stared at his back coldly, then lowered his head to pick up a broken paper kite beside him, tidying it up himself. Stop it. Stop it. From the mentioned royal father, Liu guessed that these two boys must be princes. But these ages didn't match the ages of the 7th and 8th princes he knew of. What's more... Sorry, I feel like I need to sneeze. Ugh! Oh my god. That is not pleasant. What's more, those two radishes were on good terms, and the original novel never mentioned that they fought. So who was this little chubby boy, I wonder? It couldn't be a certain someone. As Liu watched, a servant ran forward in a hurry, hugging the plump boy. "Your Highness, why did you fight with the second prince again? Did you beat him into the ground?" Liu laughed with a pfft. The way the servant spoke was quite funny. The chubby boy's dark eyes glittered, and he nodded. The servant turned around with the boy to wipe his face. The servant turned around with the boy to wipe his face, and when Liu clearly saw the servant's face, he was shocked. His face was almost identical to Wang Ji's, just a little younger. Liu was stunned. Was this a mysterious relative of Wang Gonggong's? You're so stupid. God, he is so fucking stupid. Maybe he really has fish brain. I cannot deal with this guy. I can't deal with it. He's so fucking stupid. Liu's interest in these two was piqued. The servant who looked like Wang Ji led the chubby little prince away, and Liu quietly followed, only to see them enter a building. Liu looked around and thought the place looked quite familiar, so he lifted his head and glanced at the plaque at the entrance. The words Jing Tai Hall were engraved. Liu stopped in his tracks. He was aware of only one prince who'd lived in Jing Tai Hall, and the servant looked so similar to Wang Ji. Having suddenly stumbled upon the truth, Liu almost screamed, "No way!" Idiot. No wonder the chubby boy didn't say anything when he was getting hit, and no wonder the servant looked so much like Wang Ji. A child's appearance would change a lot as he grew up, so Liu didn't recognize the chubby boy, but adults didn't change that much. The illustration is so cute. It's it's just Wang Ji wiping up Prince Jing's face. So fucking cute, and he's holding his kite, and it's up. Of course, it's a fish. Of course, it's a fucking fish kite. Fucking kite. And Liu is looking at Prince Jing and thinking, "Huh, this is Prince Jing." And then there's the second prince running away in the background. It's so silly. Oh, it's so cute. The silent prince who lived in Jingtai Hall and the young servant who resembled Wang Ji, weren't they Prince Jing and Wang Ji? He knew the system liked to scam fish. Before, it had always been inconsequential things, but now not only was the system not letting him exit, it also put him in an illusion from more than 10 years ago. Huh? So Prince Jing was a little dumpling when he was a child. Oh, okay, so it's huh. So Prince Jing was a little dumpling when he was a child. Entering an illusion didn't seem like a big deal to Liu, since he'd already transmigrated into a book, but when he realized that he was seeing Prince Jing's childhood, he was a little happy. He swung his tail crazily, racing to follow behind the chubby boy. Baby Prince Jing and Wang Ji still couldn't see him, so Liu swam boldly in front of them and jumped into the familiar courtyard. Wang Ji wiped Prince Jing's round little face clean, then left the chubby boy in the courtyard and told him not to wander around. It seemed he was going to get something. Prince Jing was very obedient and really just sat there with a straight face, unmoving. He's so baby. You're so precious. Oh my god. Liu swam behind the round boy and swished his tail across his back a couple of times, but the little prince didn't react. As expected, he couldn't feel Liu, so how was he to experience being a koi? Well, either way, now that Liu knew the chubby boy was Prince Jing, he'd definitely choose him. Okay, I'm confused. Oh, he's referencing to before when he was like, "Oh, do I have to choose one of these guys?" Okay. While he was thinking, while he was thinking with his fish head cocked, the older prince that Prince Jing had chased away returned. Fucking bitch. Liu remembered that Wang Ji had called him the second prince, so that must have been the second prince when he was a child. The second prince ran over and Prince Jing stared at him fiercely. The second prince said angrily, "Our royal father said I should teach you a lesson. He won't come to see you, and he won't care about you." What a bitch! Prince Jing was riled, and they started to tussle again. To Liu, a fight between two children seemed like a fight between helpless baby birds. Even if he wanted to help, he couldn't. The two princes were tangled together in a fight again, and when they rolled over next to the pond, Prince Jing was unprepared. The second prince somehow mustered the strength to shove to shove Prince Jing into the pond. The young Prince Jing didn't know how to swim, and when the second prince saw him struggling in the water, he ran away screaming. "Don't run! Come back and save him!" Liu swam back and forth anxiously, but Wang Ji wasn't there, and nobody else was nearby either. No, he had to save Prince Jing, even if it was an illusion. Liu jumped into the pond without hesitation. The moment he hit the water, he felt a long, absent wetness. It seemed he had fully entered the illusion. There was no time to think. He swam straight to Prince Jing's side like an arrow. The jet-black fish, with a golden belly and tail, suddenly appeared out of nowhere, surprising chubby little Prince Jing enough that he forgot to keep struggling. He was just about to sink when Liu opened his mouth and grabbed the hem of his clothes. He could touch Prince Jing now, as he'd suspected, but he was just a little carp. No matter how much strength the system gave him, he couldn't lift a 2 or 3-year-old child. He needed to be bigger and stronger. Liu prayed fervently. At that moment, his body seemed to answer his prayers and started to grow. Oh boy. When he finally grew as long as the chubby boy's arm, Leo grabbed him by his clothes again. He could finally move him a bit, and he tugged and pushed him to shore. The chubby boy's cheeks were flushed, and he looked excited. His eyes were wide open, and he stared at the fish without blinking. Leo was exhausted, but still concerned for the boy. He couldn't leave the pond and swim into the air like he did before, so he stayed in the water and pushed his back against the little boy's hand. Chubby Prince Jing gave him a look of confusion. So dumb. He doesn't even know how to pet a fish. How did this kid turn into the man who petted me until my tail went soft? Oh boy, that's not a euphemism. Mm-mm. Liu resigned, pushed his body up to move through the little chubby boy's finger. After Liu demonstrated how to pet him, the little guy reached a finger out and poked the fish's slippery back. Once he was used to how cold it was, the toddler put his whole hand on him and was soon petting the fish properly. Petting fish makes one happy. There's a spot here, chubby boy. As Liu enjoyed the chubby boy's unskilled petting, he put his head on the boy's palm and bumped it twice. He still didn't know what it meant, but Liu liked it a lot when Prince Jing did that. The chubby boy smiled and lightly patted his head under his guidance. The smile on his plump face showed a glimpse of the handsome man he'd turned into. Liu flicked his tail audibly to encourage him. He and the chubby boy silently played for a little bit. There were numerous voices coming from close by, and since Liu could be seen now, he hurriedly turned around, flicked his tail, and hid among the aquatic plants in the pond. The chubby baby Prince Jing was quickly surrounded by a flock of imperial physicians and a man wearing dragon robes. The young emperor briskly walked over. Oh boy. To his surprise, he saw a pond of rippling water sprinkled with gold. It was because the little carp was hiding among the aquatic plants. The emperor couldn't see the fish, but he saw the golden light that was reflected off of the fish's body and tail, imprinting its dazzling color into the depths of his eyes. The emperor turned around and looked worriedly at the fifth prince that fell into the water. How are you feeling? Are you all right? The chubby boy looked at the emperor and the pond. He couldn't see the fish anymore. He got up shakily, wobbled twice, and fell down again. Fifth Highness, the imperial physicians hurriedly picked him up. One of them felt the fifth prince's forehead with his palm and shouted, "The fifth prince has a high fever. It's too hot to touch." Liu hadn't realized the chubby boy's flushed face was an indicator of a fever, and he nearly lunged back out from the aquatic plants in worry. Suddenly, though, everything seemed to be separated by a layer of mist, and he felt himself gradually moving away. The last thing Liu heard was the emperor's angry voice saying, "Cure him right now. If anything happens to Tianjing, there's no need for any of you to keep living." Tianjing. He was shocked. The chubby boy's name was originally Tianjing, not Tianqi? Did he have the wrong person? Was it not his tyrant master? Impossible. He read the entire book. The emperor didn't have a son named Tianjing. Wang Ji was his personal servant, and he couldn't talk. That was Prince Jing's character setting, but why was Prince Jing's title Jing? Ah, there we go. Did Prince Jing change his name when he was younger? Among a bunch of princes with names made up of characters that contained the radical day, Tianqi didn't follow the pattern. So if it was Tianjing, then it would fit. The radical day has a footnote. The prince's names all have characters that indicate that include the radical the radical for day. Am I saying that right? Oh, I can't say anything right. Blah! I can't say anything right. such as Zhao Ming. Oh, Zhao. My bad. Ming Zhao. Prince Jing's Qi is the only. Sorry, the text is so tiny. Is the only one that doesn't. However, the radical does occur in his title, Jing. Interesting. I could have gathered that, but okay. The only one who could change Prince Jing's name was the Emperor, so that was likely what happened. But why? Liu couldn't think of a reason, but it wasn't really important. Whether Prince Jing was called Tianqi or Tianjing, he was still his tyrant master. The system's notification came right at that moment. User, congratulations on completing the Becoming a Koi side mission. You will become a Koi and receive the abilities of a Koi when you collect your reward. Li Yu's thoughts were still with the chubby baby boy who had fallen ill, and he kept having to remind himself that it was just something that happened in the illusion, not reality. I don't know about that. Prince Jing was fine now and was just outside. He also wasn't a chubby little child anymore. So he wasn't actually sick, right? But even though Liu knew it wasn't real, he couldn't help asking, System, the child just now, what happened to him afterward? Afterward, he was sick. He recovered a few days later. Wow, how useful. Forget it. He knew the system was good at scamming fish, so it was already quite impressive that he'd managed to find out this much. Liu looked at his body. He had gotten larger in the illusion, but he was back to his regular size now. It was just an illusion after all, so the effect didn't stay with him. He was satisfied with that. The koi mission was now complete, most likely because he had helped the baby Prince Jing in the illusion just now. The system had wanted him to experience what it was like being a koi. He knew that the characteristic of a koi fish was to protect, so experiencing what it was like to be a koi for him to what the fuck? So experiencing what it was like to be a koi for him to experience the feeling of protecting someone. Okay, sure, that's a weird sentence. Just like the way he chose the chubby boy and helped him out. He finally completed the mission and could turn into a koi. Liu wasn't very excited, though. Now that the long-awaited reward was right in front of him, if he turned into a koi, would his scales change color? Yes, the system informed him. Your scales will be adjusted again. Then I'll leave it for later. He had been forced to suddenly complete the koi mission. Last time his scales changed. He'd caused a lot of trouble. Prince Jing had only just finished dealing with it. If he changed scales again, wouldn't it be suspicious? Even if he were a real koi, the change wouldn't happen so often. I'll get to it later. The system seemed confused. Liu tried to leave the system again and succeeded this time. With a lingering fear, he returned to reality, where he found Prince Jing, wrapping him in a gold blanket. Liu wagged his tail, touched. Even though the illusion wasn't real, it was nice to meet you, chubby child. Shut up. It's too cute. That's the end of the chapter. Snap back to reality. Yep. It's too cute. It's much too cute. And my nose is doing things that I don't particularly like. And it's making it distracting. It's distracting me. Stop. I mean, the next chapter is called Fish Mouth Hurts, so, you know, maybe Oh my god. Ah, yuck. Okay. I don't actually feel like I need to take a break yet. I still have like half a cup of tea. Granted, it's not very hot, but I think we can just continue on to the next chapter. Please God, let there be a fish boat. Stop. Why are you so obsessed with that? You're like as obsessed with that as I am about fish and preg. Anyway, chapter 47, Fish Mouth Hurts. Prince Jing realized that the carp spirit was very friendly towards him after his meditation, but the fish had clearly ignored him by meditating as soon as he woke up. Prince Jing had read some new introductory books on cultivating, so he knew that when one meditated, one could gain insight on some things. So what was it that the carp spirit had come to understand? Liu was quite proud of himself. I found out Prince Jing used to be chubby. How surprising. How unexpected. He he he. He knew that what happened in the illusion wasn't real, but the sight of that chubby little boy was something he could look back on in amusement for a long time. Wrapped in the golden blanket, the little carp was laughing so hard that his tyrant master found it strange. The emperor felt guilty that Prince Jing had been injured. He wanted him to stay in the palace until his injury healed, but Prince Jing only agreed to stay for 3 more days. The emperor was silent for a while, thinking about the way bad things seemed to happen to Prince Jing whenever he entered the palace, and ultimately relented. After all this, the emperor remained somewhat uneasy. He wasn't suspicious of Prince Jing, but he wondered if there was something wrong with the fish that even the Imperial Astrological Bureau couldn't see. He sat silently in Chanting Palace for 2 hours before ordering head eunuch Luo Rusheng to bring the Zen master Liao Kong from Hu Guo Temple. This particular master was different from ordinary monks. That was why the emperor sent for him. In his younger years, he traveled the world, broadening his horizons, and was an extraordinary conversationalist. Now he presided over the imperial family's Hu Guo Temple. No, Hu Guo. Oh, that's a typo. Hey, hang on. It's Hug. Okay, first time it wrote Huguo, and then second time it's Hugou. I think it's Uo. Huguo Temple. If the emperor was said to trust director's son of the Imperial Astrological Bureau very much, then Liao Kong was the equivalent of three director's sons. The only thing was that he had already lived through 3 different dynasties and was very elderly, so he didn't get involved in ordinary affairs. The emperor was the only one who could summon him. Liao Kong Liao Liao Kong rarely answered to anyone else. Tangentially, if the third and sixth princes had managed to win over Liao Kong, they wouldn't have had to use any fake monks and things wouldn't have gone so poorly for them. I am just I am bitten up by mosquitoes so much, and I have been subconsciously just scratching some bites, and that is fun. I did not. There's 2 on my knee. There's 2 on my thigh. There's 2 on my calf, and this is just one leg. The other leg is pretty much the same. So, that's so fun. They're huge too. Okay, anyway. Head eunuch what the hell? Head eunuch Luo rushed to Hu Guo Temple with an imperial edict, and Prince Jing, who was staying at Jingtai Hall over his few days at the palace, learned of it soon after. There's also one on my foot. That is so fun! When Wang Ji gave him the secret report, Prince Jing glanced at his constant companion, who had been moved into a blue-white porcelain fish tank, then slightly nodded. "Are you okay?" "No. I'm mosquito food." Liu was a fish, so it technically didn't matter where he lived, but at Prince Jing's manor, there was a huge pond that Prince Jing had built for him, allowing him to swim around freely. He liked the manor more, but staying in Jingtai Hall for a couple more days wasn't a big deal. When Wang Ji put him in the porcelain fish tank, Liu had been initially surprised. He had assumed the fish tank in Jingtai Hall would be too small for him now, but Prince Jing had really updated and altered all the fish tanks he barely used too. He swam around inside, extremely comfortable. There was no one better at taking care of fish than his tyrant master, he thought proudly. The first day they stayed at Jingtai Hall, the third and sixth princes' mothers sent people to visit. Since the two princes were being punished for offending Prince Jing, the third prince's mother, Consort Chan, and the sixth prince's mother, Consort Jiang, yeah, wanted to ask Prince Jing for mercy. They had already asked the emperor, but Consort Chan had only recently gained a little favor from the third prince's brief advancement, and Consort Jiang, like the sixth prince, had never made much of a name for herself. Their words were useless in front of the emperor, and when he rejected their pleas, they were afraid to keep asking, lest he become angry and hurt the two princes further. Consort Chan mulled it over and decided to take Consort Jiang with her to beg Prince Jing for forgiveness. Consort Jiang had no ideas herself. She had cried when her son was beaten, so she went along with Consort Chan. However, since they were concubines, it was not appropriate for them to visit the prince in private. Consort Chan wanted the emperor to be aware of their planned visit, so she sent several palace servants in advance with gifts for Prince Jing. But those servants waited outside Jingtai Hall for several hours, and Prince Jing gave no indication that he would meet them. When the emperor heard the news, he was extremely dissatisfied to learn that Consort Chan and Consort Jiang were disturbing Prince Jing's recovery, so he had them added to the house arrest list, killing two birds with one stone by setting an example for the rest of the harem, too. Jeez. From then on, everyone started to avoid Jingtai Hall, and the surroundings quieted down considerably. Ad starting soon. Why do you just say ad starting soon and not start the ad? That's crazy. That's crazy. I am so itchy. I'm so fucking itchy. I'm gonna be itching these in my sleep so bad. One of the mosquito bites is actually two mosquito bites, and it's like 4 inches big, maybe 3 to 4 inches big. It's huge, gigantic. Okay, maybe it's like 3 inches. No, it's actually like 3 to 4 inches. That's crazy. It's disgusting. And then I have basically a second knee because of this other one. Because of this other mosquito bite on my knee. Shut up. it's big for a mosquito bite. I don't know what you're talking about. Ugh. It's not fun. Anyway, where were we? I got distracted. Oh, I just turned the page. Okay. Sorry, I needed to burp. In the morning and evening, the imperial physicians would come to Jingtai Hall to change Prince Jing's dressings and listen to his pulse. The first night, Prince Jing had a fever. When Liu woke up, he checked on Prince Jing out of habit. There was no one else around. Since he was in the porcelain fish tank again, it was difficult to see outside, so he swam to the edge of the tank, carefully placed his fins on it, and pushed himself up. That image is... He saw Prince Jing lying down limply, as if he hadn't moved at all. as if he hadn't moved all night. Liu thought it was strange at first, and when he noticed Prince Jing's abnormally flushed face and short breaths, he knew that Prince Jing was running a fever. He immediately transformed into a human and rushed over to feel Prince Jing's forehead. It was very hot. The fever seemed to be quite high. I wish I had not looked up. I'm so glad I don't actually have a chat thing on my screen, and half of that gets cut off. Oh my god. How would that even? Okay, no, I'm not gonna think about it. That's. It would have to be like one of the things where there's like a built-in glove thing, you know, but instead of a glove. Okay, okay, enough. Where was I? Oh my god. Ugh. Stop. He immediately transferred to the rest of the day. It was very hot. The fever seemed to be quite high. When the imperial physician was treating Prince Jing, he had mentioned that it was likely Prince Jing would get a fever, so cold water and handkerchiefs had been stocked in the room. Liu quickly dipped a handkerchief in the water and placed it on Prince Jing's forehead, then rushed out to find Wang Ji. Wang Ji was standing guard outside, so he came right away when Liu called for him. Upon seeing the situation, he immediately went to find the imperial physician, asking Liu to watch over Prince Jing. Obviously, he would do his best, but he could only transform for 2 hours, so hopefully Wang Gonggong would be back by then. In any case, he would just take care of Prince Jing for now. Liu sat down next to Prince Jing, switching the handkerchief out when it warmed up too much, but Prince Jing was still burning up. He couldn't just continue like this. Liu thought back to the physical cooling methods he knew from the modern worlds, and decided to try one of them out. He undid Prince Jing's undershirt and wiped down several of his joints with warm water. It was quite effective, and the heat on Prince Jing's body soon receded. But Liu himself was exhausted. The illusory events of the Koi mission may not have been real, but the energy he'd used to save the chubby little boy was. After he exited the illusion and completed the mission, he still had to get up in the middle of the night to take care of a feverish Prince Jing. Liu didn't want to complain. Deep down, he'd felt guilty that he couldn't help the chubby little boy with his fever, so he could make up for it now. That's too cute. The imperial physician still hadn't arrived, but Liu had succeeded in lowering Prince Jing's fever. He covered Prince Jing with the quilt again and put a wet handkerchief on his forehead, afraid that the fever would come back. The fish was too tired. He wanted to stay awake until he turned back into a fish so he could jump into the fish tank to sleep, but it was too difficult. Liu's eyelids were drooping, and before the transformation time was over, his body slowly slumped over. Prince Jing was sleeping prettily. No, Prince Jing was sleeping pretty deeply, and when he finally woke up, he felt weak, and his chest felt worryingly tight. The human-shaped fish was lying on his chest, fast asleep. Prince Jing thought he must be dreaming, and he was both confused and happy. He couldn't help himself. He softly touched Xiao Yu's face. It was real. He didn't know what had happened, but since his fish was so defenseless, he found himself wanting to trap him. Prince Jing moved to his injured hand without thinking, and the wound on his palm throbbed in pain. Maybe the wound had reopened, but it didn't seem to matter. He carelessly raised an eyebrow and used his other hand to pull the sleeping carp spirit into his arms. No. There's no illustration on the next page. Liu, who thought he was still a fish, squirmed and muttered, Little Chubs, you're so heavy. Little Chubs? Prince Jing was slightly upset. The fish was always under his watchful eye. Where did this fat man come from to steal him away? Prince Jing wanted to wake Xiao Yu and question him, but he'd only sat up a little bit when the handkerchief on his forehead slid off. The handkerchief had gotten warm, so he hadn't noticed it until now. He held the wet handkerchief in his hand. Xiao Yu was sleeping soundly in his embrace. When he thought of how uncomfortable he felt when he woke up, he more or less understood what had happened. He must have had a fever, and Xiao Yu had been taking care of him until he'd fallen asleep from exhaustion. When he realized this, he was still a bit angry, but felt reluctant to wake up his fish. Who cared about some fat man? As long as he didn't let go, nobody could take Xiao Yu away. The flavor! Yummy. Prince Jing was worried the carp spirit would catch a cold, so he tucked him under the covers and lay back down beside him. Xiao Yu snuggled into his shoulder sleepily, and Prince Jing suddenly realized what he'd done. He was sharing a bed with the carp spirit. Prince Jing's breath caught in his throat. Pervert! Was it finally time? I knew it! I knew it! The fucking pervert! Was it finally time for absorbing essence? In the books, the snake spirits and fox spirits were always the ones to initiate, so Prince Jing could only wait. But this fish was an anomaly. No matter how long Prince Jing waited, he was still dead asleep. Prince Jing's feelings were complicated. As if in revenge, he covered the carp spirit's mouth and nose. Liu whined and flailed a bit. Prince Jing let him go, and when Liu could breathe again, he settled back down. Prince Jing impulsively leaned in and kissed Xiao Yu's slightly parted lips. I got it all wrong. I didn't get it all wrong, but last stream, it's literally the reverse of what I was drawing. Oh my god. Oh my god. I knew it. I knew it was gonna be one of the two. It's probably gonna be both at some point. Oh my god. I knew it! Wang Ji jogged back to Jingtai Hall with the Imperial Physician in tow. Wang Gonglong wiped the sweat from his forehead and asked the Imperial Physician to wait. As always, he had to check the room before announcing a visitor. He peered in past the half-open door and saw no signs of Li Gongji. He was a little surprised, but when he looked back at the bed, he froze, the two figures under the brocade quilt. Wang Ji knew immediately it was Prince Jing and Li Gongji. Wang Ji felt greatly conflicted. His Highness had always been pure of heart and free of desire, so Wang Ji should have been happy for his master that something like this happened. But didn't His Highness have a fever? Why would they, at this time? You don't get it, Wang Ji. You don't get it. The Imperial Physician was already here. Should he be announced or not? His Highness was finally enjoying himself, so if he ruined that, he'd be in huge trouble. But if he didn't announce the Imperial Physician, the still sick Prince Jing and his weary body might not be able to handle it. Wang Ji closed his eyes. Even if his master blamed him later, he had to do it. He knelt and in a trembling voice said, "Your Highness, the Imperial Physician is here." As soon as Wang Ji spoke, the lips that Prince Jing had kissed several times, suddenly disappeared out from under him. Prince Jing looked down. Xiao Yu had turned back into a fish in his arms. He knew that Xiao Yu couldn't transform for very long, so he hadn't planned on doing anything else. Oh boy, that would have been bad. No. But when he saw the black and gold fish on his chest, Prince Jing still paused for a moment, feeling like this scene was somehow familiar. But he didn't have much time to think about that. He had to handle the fish first. Prince Jing took out a jade bell from under his pillow and rang it. Wang Ji let out a sigh of relief. His Highness was willing to see the imperial physician and asked him to wait outside. After all, with Li Gongji there, he had to clean up first. He would he couldn't let the imperial physician in just like that. Wang Ji respectfully exited and closed the door for Prince Jing. He was stop! Stop! Once Wang Ji had left, Prince Jing stood up, fish in hand, already very experienced at carp spirit wrangling. He put the sleeping fish in the fish tank, wrapped him in the golden leaf blanket, and patted him on the head, slightly smiling. The fish, sleeping without a worry in the world, blew a bubble. Finished with nothing out of place, Prince Jing lay back down on his bed. He rang the jade bell again to let Wang Ji and the imperial physician in. Wang Ji came in, his gaze wandering and his thoughts confused. His Highness was there, but where was Li Gongji? There hadn't been much time, and he had been on guard outside. Where could Li Gongji have gone? Prince Jing's gaze swept over him, and Wang Ji immediately stopped his random guessing. When Liu woke up, he was in the porcelain fish tank again. Recalling that he'd been so exhausted from taking care of a patient that he accidentally fell asleep, he was speechless. He'd been too careless. What if Prince Jing and Wang Gongong found out? Oh no! Thank goodness Prince Jing was asleep with a fever and hadn't seen him. He probably woke up in the fish tank because he turned into a fish next to Prince Jing's bed, and when Wang Gongong returned and saw him, he must have put him back in the fish tank. The imperial physician had already left, and Liu heard Wang Ji telling the other servants that Prince Jing wouldn't had starting over. The imperial physician had already left, and Liu heard Wang Ji telling the other servants that Prince Jing's wound had opened again. But fortuitously, I know that word, but I've never really said it out loud. Fortuitously. God, I don't know. It was dealt with in time. There shouldn't be any serious issues if it was looked after carefully. That was good. Liu's worries lightened considerably, but he kept shaking his head. Did his mouth get bitten by something? Why did it kind of hurt? That's the end of the chapter. These chapters are... I've gone through 4 chapters and I haven't even taken a break yet. They've been really short, but I think that is where we will end today. Because I think my brain is hurting. my brain can't keep up right now. I bet if physician wasn't over there, he was gonna do things like how a straight... No! No! Oh my god. Okay, I think we all need some time to recover from that. Are you okay, Aries? I don't know. Are you okay? No, no, I'm not okay. I'm never okay. But yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna head out. Ugh, skill issue. No. I will see you on Monday, if not Wednesday, if not Friday. That was something else. I'm quite hungry, I think. I think that's why I'm like feeling weird. It was a fun reading session, for sure. definitely things happen. Things happened. Things happened. But it's just, I know it's just gonna be like this for the next couple of books. I know it. It's not even gonna. When are they gonna be like really communicating? I can't with these two. They're so. Sorry, I spoiled myself. That was too much. That was too much. I need to go. Goodbye. I'll see you later. Thanks for hanging out. Like, comment, subscribe. And sub to my Twitch. No, I haven't. You know, I started this stream and I was like, oh my god, a new follower. How many followers do I have? I have 240 followers on Twitch. And then I was like, haha, 240, haha. And I was like, no, it's 420, you stupid idiot. Anyway, I didn't even need to tell you that, but I'm just giving you a glimpse of how how much I relate to the you, actually. how much we're both so stupid. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go eat something. You do what you gotta do.